Hello and welcome to this edition of Business Spotlight. My name is Reza Kolodous from Action Coach, and I am delighted to be joined today by a very special guest, Vlad Opanasiuk. Hi, Vlad.
Hi, Reza.
It's great to have you here with us today, and thank you for taking time after your busy schedule. Vlad is the managing director of Red. I hope I got that right. Why don't you
That's right.
Great. Why don't you start with telling us about your company, your background, and what it is that you do?
Sure, of course. So hello, I'm Vlad. I'm a structural engineer by trade, by education, and programmer by passion, and also as a hobby, I do business. And the business we do, well, it's actually no, it takes most of my time. But what Red does, it's sort of combining the two worlds. It's combining the world of structural engineering. For those of you who don't know what structural engineering is, we basically design things to stand up. We're not architects, we're more technical. We're looking at the sort of the physics of the building, how it stands up, how it supports itself, or any structure, not just buildings. Um, that's a very traditional business, very consultancy-based business. You typically kind of work on hourly basis for clients and or fixed price, but
Mhm.
designing structures, effectively shaping things that support other things effectively. Could be
Sure.
bridges, could be buildings, could be anything. Some people even go down to the level of furniture and smaller things. But the reason I say it's not just a structural engineering business is because we also focus on automation. So it's a combination between a traditional design and automation through code, through scripting, through custom software. So we're trying to combine the two. We do some design ourselves for clients, very conventional approach, but we try and automate as many processes as we can, and also sell the processes and algorithms that we develop to others and help other people automate their design process and streamline their design processes.
Okay, great. So, um, what actually got you started? What inspired you to start your business?
So what inspired me to start my business is that I was working for a company like a traditional engineering consultancy company, and it was quite interesting. We were doing some very interesting projects. I think just generally for structural engineers and civil engineers, it's people generally go into the business because they're inspired by the amazing projects that you can do. And I guess you as a graduate, you come in, you're all excited and you do a few exciting projects. But I think after a while, you start learning the inefficiencies of the industry, of the trade. You try and innovate, and I feel like in corporate environments, it's very difficult. It's almost like going upstream against
Yeah.
if you're trying to change something, right? Like it's a good environment to be in if you are just happy to do your 9 to 5, sort of go back home and relax. And but if you're very focused and you have that drive, difficult to move up fast in a corporate.
Sure.
So that was mainly the reason why I started my own business, is to move faster, to try things, to change things. Basically, that's like a vehicle for change.
Yeah. Great story that. And of course, starting a business is never easy. And what challenges did you face when you first started?
Well, the funny thing is, for me, a lot of the business literature and like all of the podcasts and things you listen to, they talk about a lot of the external factors about the business, and then they talk about like what they don't talk about is discipline. I think what I realized that like you think, well, you're gonna leave the job and you don't have to be confined to 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be just have your freedom, but actually freedom comes at a cost, and that you need to be very organized, very disciplined to actually um, to actually be productive and to achieve your full potential outside work, because there's nobody setting your boundaries.
Definitely.
You are, nobody's telling you what to do next. And I
Yeah.
think it's a very interesting situation because you can either completely lose track and slack off, or you can like overwork yourself while keep running. So it's about keeping that balance, keeping that discipline. It's the challenge. Most challenging thing is basically self-control and that focus. That's probably what people don't talk enough about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a very interesting point. As you mentioned, not many people talk about that side of it. When you first start a business, you basically have all the time to yourself, right? And you don't have a boss anymore. So
yeah, the best thing about having your business is being your own boss. The worst thing about having your business is you are your own boss.
yes,
Which
absolutely.
is the hardest. I think
The irony of life, right?
it is.
So was there any turning point since you started the work for that growth or for that business to take shape? Was there a point that that you could attribute to and you'd like to share with us as to when the business went from you just trying to discipline yourself to the point that you started making money and getting work?
I think it's a first major project. I mean, my business is very much about project. It's project based.
Mm-hmm.
We did a few small things, but then like the like landing the first big project, like very large contract, and just the sheer volume of work and sheer pressure of it. It forces you to like understand a lot of things, and I think also finishing that was great because I think I understood what my value to the customers was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was very important because you finish the project, and I think you speak to the client, and we completed this very complicated bit of design, and the client was actually very grateful. And I think the technical side of it was important, but it's also the most important thing. The thing I understood from that is that people value your time and attention and your attitude. So the clients value how you approach them. If you approach people, like, oh, this is just business, it's a contract, you just do what they ask you to do, and that's it. I think that's sort of a very hands-off attitude. It might work in some contexts, but I think when you're just starting your business, you need to go beyond. You need to offer your client that tailored service, that like approach, personal approach. And I think that was a turning point at realizing actually it's not just about delivering the core work, it's also focusing on the experience of your client experience, and not just being like your typical engineer or your typical consultant.
Sure.
You go there, you go beyond.
Sure. And this going above and beyond and delivering, taking attention and notice, would you say that's your competitive edge? Is that, and or is it part of your competitive edge? If it isn't just part of your competitive, what else is there? What keeps you ahead of the curve?
I think that's for a small business generally, that's one way you can get competitive edge, is just being very, very attentive to your clients' needs and very responsive. That's definitely something that people come back for. But our edge is just technical excellence. We're pushing innovation. We are just best at what we do. In terms of engineering, we sort of break some of the stereotypical ideas. We try and push innovation, and like the whole other part of the business, the automation and the computational side of business, that's what differentiates us. We're not just your traditional engineer who will just do things on the back of an envelope or in an Excel spreadsheet. We'll go for optimization. We will go for more lean design. We'll push for lean design. We won't go conservative. We'll go extra mile there in terms of achieving better design for that client to achieve better costs, better appearance, better performance, better environmental credentials. It's just pushing that, doing beyond your initial scope, giving that extra, always in personal relationship and also in the core technical delivery.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can see that how that would be a a great advantage and why people would want to work with you guys. And so a lot of the work you do, depending on the size, could be collaborative. You may need to work with a member of the team or, external people. What's your approach when you're trying to put a team together to deliver a project? Well, what qualities do you look for in the individual other than just purely technical?
Yeah, I think what I found was people is the only way you can people fake tests. So you can any test that you give people is they're gonna try and they pass through it. I think the only way that my approach with people is just give an opportunity and then see how they respond. If the person is trustworthy, if they deliver, if they feel the sense of responsibility, that's my person, right? Like the right people just stay. I think we work a lot with outsource. We work a lot of freelance stuff. We don't do that. We are looking to hire now full time, but even with full time workers, the idea is I like to give people full freedom. You're free to do like I set tasks and I set technical brief for them, but you manage your own time, you manage your own performance, and that sort of. But from my side, I also want to have trust that will be delivered, and people we work with, the ones who stick, the ones who stay, are generally people who will deliver and who can manage themselves effectively. That's the sort of. I think with modern world, people are expecting to work remote. People are expecting to work somewhere, and especially in businesses that don't require physical presence, which we don't. You're expected some freedom, but I think it's the same way that I have managed to discipline myself to find that balance between life and delivering things. I also try and find the same in people. We give people freedom, but we also expect that I want that trust that
they have the self-discipline.
That the work has to come back. It doesn't matter if you wake up at 9 or 10, but if the work gets done, like that's the main thing.
I can see that. And obviously having those ethics, the right attributes, helps making sure that happens consistently, right? So obviously you're in a very traditional business, but of course you're kind of an innovator by bringing technology into it. Would you say, is that something you're excited about? Are there anything else in that industry that's that are forthcoming that you're excited about, technologically or otherwise?
Yeah, structural engineering is exciting. I think a lot of the engineers coming into the industry now, they are also learning to code. So it's almost like you almost get a double skilled people these days. And there's a lot of things that you can improve, automate, do better, do faster. And so my strong belief is that we will slowly automate the standard, the core business, and by being faster, being more efficient, we will start focusing on reducing carbon, making more efficient structures, creating better products. And it's exciting. There's a lot of exciting things happening in construction. It's like we can do a full 1 hour podcast on what's happening. It's a great industry.
I'll invite you back to do that.
There are platforms that we're doing that on as well. But it's like people look at construction and I don't think they go through. They don't you think you go into construction, they think about people laying bricks, but there's so much in that process that's not purely physical. There's a lot of design and consultancy business that's associated with that, and it's not all brick and mortar. It's actually a very exciting sphere. You have additive manufacture, like 3D printing of structures. You get robotic manufacturing, like offsite construction. There's just so much innovation happening. It's one of the biggest industries. It's the biggest industry in the world, and it's one of the most behind industries in the world. And there is a lot of investment that goes into innovation in the industry. There is a lot of development, so it's definitely an exciting space to be in.
Great. So I guess my final question is about you in the business, and what the future holds for it. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years or beyond?
I think my dream is to build a fully automated factory for some sort of construction product. I just want a robot factory,
Yeah.
and then
I knew
like
technology will be there somewhere, right?
yeah, exactly. That's my dream, big dream. But we need to get there. Like I think a lot of the stepping stones there in terms of design process, in terms of like going from client to final product, that we need to like get the software right. I think maybe in 3, 5 years we get into the hardware a little bit more, and hopefully that all comes together into a big complete process. And then us as humans will be just sitting there programming and designing and coming out with things that the robots will then do for us. That's the
Sure.
most exciting things, because at the moment it's slow. You come out with something and then you actually have to approve, send to people. People actually still bend it like by hand or by some machines, rudimentary machine welded together. And like the prototyping is slow. It's getting to that point where we can like design things, test them, and ship them like fast.
Yeah.
Like you see with little like with little things that you can get on Amazon. Hopefully you'll be able to do the same with bigger things like a building or a bridge. You just order it and ship it off to a location.
Yeah. And it seems far-fetched now, but technically, as you said, we're probably not far away. The technology is there, just bringing everything together, right?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and make it feasible. So thank you. I could listen to you all day. I love hearing about new innovative ideas, especially in the construction field, which I do a bit of work in. Really appreciate the time you've taken today out of your busy schedule. Really enjoyed our chats, and there were some really great shares for some of the entrepreneurs out there wanting to start their own business, in terms of the self-discipline that you mentioned. I wish you all the success in the future and
Thank
for
you
the
very
rest
much.
of the year.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure to have you here, Vlad.
Thank you, Reza. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.